Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday. Well, if this was 1966 and I was Burt Ward, I think the only words that could come out of my mouth would be, "Holy cannoli, Batman." As per usual, Friday, the crazy day of what comes out in the crazy world we live in. Okay. And there's a bunch of topics I could talk about today. I mean, we could talk about, I don't know, the fact that there's a war on men. We know that, 51% of the United States population is male, yet came out today, 60% of the U.S. college enrollment is female, okay? Because when they're doing enrollment, I don't know, women now have precedence over men, even if it's the same grade point average, whatever it would be. All right, but so be it. We're used to that. I mean, hey, there's been quotas for every other group. Let's just leave it that way for years, I mean, we all know there's a war on men. Anybody that doesn't is fooling themselves. Okay. We could talk about that, but I didn't want to go in that one. We could talk about Pennsylvania, where rationing has come into play. And of all things to ration, booze. Get this one. They're effective on Friday. Liquor stores are now no longer allowed to sell more than 2 bottles of booze to a customer per day, even if that customer is, a bar. I don't know about anybody else. If you ever worked in the bar industry, I did for about 5 years between Texas, Kentucky, and Chicago. And I was responsible for ordering booze, quite a bit. Like the Kentucky laws say you have to order a case of booze at a time from a distributor. And, there was a great one where I was in Florence, Kentucky, where, the distributor that carried Jack Daniels and Cuervo, that was about the only stuff they carried. And so we had to buy a case of booze from them. So we always had way extra Jack Daniels and Cuervo on hand than we went through, because there was nothing else we needed to stock the bar with, not even the well liquors. But no, that's not the crazy part of the day. Australia, the prison colony that used to be a prison colony that is bound and determined to become a prison colony again, has taken the cake for what is going on. And I'm going to assume that some of our friends from down under can tell us a little bit more about this, but I'm going to tell you what I at least know. This one takes the cake, and if we don't think this is coming to the rest of the world soon, get ready, okay? Y'all know, I was calling for a lockdown. The lockdown didn't happen. We got a mandate instead here in the States. But we all know that Australia has been on lockdown for the better part of the last 16 months. In some cities, you're not allowed to go anywhere. Okay, you can't leave your house, can't do anything. Of course, unless you're going to the doctor or the grocery store, that was about it. Other than that, you are a prisoner in your own house. Okay. This came out Friday. Australia is now implementing a facial recognition software that everybody has to supposedly register for. And at any time, the government can send you a text and say, send us a selfie right now to show that you're at your house. And you have X amount of minutes to reply and send a selfie as to where you are. Now, a lot of you guys know Constantine, Letters to King, now inside Russia. Okay, good friend of mine. Granted, we've never met in person, but talked to him, talked to his wife. God knows we all know each other and talk all the time. Fabulous channel if you want to learn something about what's going on the other side of the world. And if we all remember, Constantine had COVID, and the health department in Russia was requiring him to take a selfie of himself something like every 5 hours to show that he was at home, okay, that he was quarantined. Now, I don't necessarily agree with it, but okay, he had COVID. He was supposed to quarantine. I'm not going to disagree with that. And this is how they wanted proof. Fine. The difference is in Australia, you don't have to have COVID. You don't have to have anything. Just out of the sheer blue, they want to know that you're staying at home. You don't have COVID. You haven't been exposed to anybody with COVID, but you're staying at home. So now I need to snap a selfie of myself. How far does this go? You know, a lot of us know that prisons got emptied because of COVID. You know, we've all seen stories where people are in house arrest and, you know, you've got to wear an ankle monitor or whatever it would be. That is basically a GPS monitor that's attached to you and shows where you go. You know, maybe you're allowed to go to work and, you know, you have 15 minutes to get to work and 15 minutes to get home. And, you know, after that point, you have to be at your house, whatever it would be, okay? Criminal offense. What Australia is doing here is making everybody, every citizen, a prisoner under house arrest. And you have to prove where you are. Because what happens if they send you a text and say you have 5 minutes or whatever the time frame is to snap a selfie, and where are you? And maybe you're in the grocery store. Maybe you're in your car on the way back from the grocery store. It's not like you can stop real quick and knock on somebody's door and go, "Can I get in your apartment real quick so I can take a picture so I can look like I'm at home?" Facial recognition software. If this doesn't sound like Big Brother, I don't know what is. Because who in the hell gave the government the authority in any country? I don't care if it's North Korea. Who in the hell gave the government any authority to for me to take a picture of myself and show you my house, okay? You know, gee, I don't know, look behind me. You know, there's a couple of sconces. There's a couple of cast iron cowboy boots. There's a couple of oil lamps, you know. Gee, now they're also surveying what's in my house. If the next picture I have is in front of, I don't know, the moose head, the heater, now they know what I have. Who's to say they're not just looking and going, pinball's at home. But they're going, inventory, this and this and this and this. Okay, so next time we're going to send a picture. You know, we'll send a request at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to get a picture of his bedroom. And next time we'll send a picture at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll get a picture of him standing on his porch walking the dog, so we'll know what's there. This is what's going on, guys. If this isn't Big Brother, I don't know what is. And the problem is the Aussies, as much as they are protesting in the street, are accepting this little by little by little by little. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And if you don't think that Oz is a plan for the rest of the world, you're sadly mistaken. You know, we look at yesterday, and the Kenyan in chief, Barack Obama, has endorsed Justin Trudeau to be reelected here later this month. Really? The hell does a former failure of an American president have to do with anything in Canadian politics? Would that be, I don't know, influence? You know, the stories that came out today about The Russians screaming that the Americans are interfering in the Russian election. No, because the Americans never do that. We've never been about nation building, not this government, and I don't care which party, no, we've never done that. Hypocritical. Guys, the World Economic Forum, the politicians around the world, former and current, Biden, Obama, Merkel, Macron, Trudeau, pick one, Xi Jinping, they're all in this. Every single freaking one of them. And as I've said to you guys many times before, the Western countries, Australia, France, Canada, United States, Britain, Germany, whatever it is, are all falling into line. And China and Russia are sitting in the background going, let's just let them blow themselves up, and then we're just going to come in, swoop, and take everything over. Facial recognition, guys, where does it stop? We've all talked about digital currency. Gee, the government's going to know everything that you did. They're going to decide whether or not you can buy those 2 apples. $600. We've all talked about this one. The IRS, any $600 deposit or withdrawal to your bank account, the IRS is going to know about. Okay? Think where this can go, where facial recognition by the government requiring you to go, smile, can go. Everybody. The Aussies, the Canucks, the Patriots, the Brits, the Germans, the Russians, every single one of you guys who watch need to get the troops rallied and fight back. Because we're at a precipice, and it's all going to go to hell real fast. We have different ways of life in Russia and Australia and Canada and Germany and England and the United States and Mexico and Brazil, wherever it would be. Do you want to give that up? Maybe you want better, but you sure as hell don't want worse. Pinball out.